Anchors up, sails at full. Welcome to the Sloopcast. How are you doing today, Kyle?
Yes. Hi.
Hi.
Doing well.
How are you doing today, Austin?
Hello, Kyle.
Oh, we're doing a.
Jared.
Oh, well, yeah. Jeremy grew up so fast. That's a Discord joke. You're only getting that. That is a Discord insider joke right there. If you want to be inside the Discord jokes, discord.thesloopcast.com. Always be plugging. It's a new tradition. It's a good tradition. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad. We're doing a three-handed podcast today, which means, we're doing something special. And I'm going to go ahead and say the classic line. Let's not waste any time. Let's do it. We are doing today. We've done this once before. It is officially our time to do it again this year. This is the Big Game Draft. This is the Big Game Draft. What is this? This is the episode in which we play the role of Fox, NBC, and CBS and choose our Big 10 games in a draft-like fashion. This is based off of a thing that actually happens. Are we following those rules to a T? No, we are not. Because it's more complicated than simply this. Are we?
A lot.
Yeah. Are we doing this more like a fantasy football draft? Yeah, that's a more accurate way of saying it. But instead of picking players, we're picking football games. Here are the rules. There are 14 weeks this year. They added an extra bye week to help with the players because, you have the playoff this year. They might be playing extra games. So they moved the schedule 1 week up. And now teams have the opportunity to do 2 separate bye weeks. That's what we're doing, or that's what college football is doing now. So last year when we did this, we drafted 13 games plus 2 wild card games, which are basically everyone has to pick a game for all 14 weeks. You have to fill your schedule. You have to have a game every week. But just to add a little bit of fun in there, we decided to also give ourselves 2 wildcard games just to keep things interesting. Just so someone couldn't just be like, oh, well, the other guys have already both picked a week 14 game. Let me make this a bit interesting. Let me just not pick a week. No, we didn't want any shenanigans. So we had 2 wildcard games in there. Did I miss anything? Guys, is there a rule I'm missing? Did I get everything covered?
I think you got it all.
Did I get it?
Well,
they're good.
There's one thing we don't know yet, however. We don't know who is what network yet. Fox picks first. NBC picks second. CBS picks third.
So we'll figure out who it is here.
Right now we're rolling for Fox. If you're not watching on the YouTube channel, we have a magical spinning wheel up. So that's
also just want to be clear here, Jared. Are we doing a fixed draft or a snake draft?
My understanding is we're doing a fixed draft, but we got 3 people here. If 2 people want to vote snake, that's enough. That's democracy.
I think fixed is easier.
Yeah, let's just keep it fixed.
Cool. All right. Fox picks first, so we will roll for Fox first. And we roll.
And
I really hope.
Dead air.
Oh.
I hope.
Oh.
Kyle gets Fox.
Kyle. Well, there goes any chance we had to get in that game, Jared.
Yeah.
Check one off.
We will remove Kyle, and the winner of this one gets NBC.
And if you look in our Excel here, you'll note, Jared, that the first game has been picked already.
I did notice that, Kyle. Yes. Jared, that's me. I'll be picking for NBC and be picking second.
Crazy.
Rigged. All right, let's roll to see who gets CBS.
All right. Just rub it in, Jared. Just rub it in.
Austin.
All of my mock drafts are from this 3-slot anyway, so I think it works out.
Congratulations, Austin. All right. Let's get the board up. Kyle has already picked. And
wasting no time, or should I take the full 10 minutes of the first pick of the first round here? Should I take the full 10 minutes here?
No, please do not.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going right
This is
to
not
week
the
14.
NFL draft, yeah.
Week 14. Let's get the game out of there.
Everyone's saying rigged. We saw this coming. This is how Liberty dies, with thunderous applause. Listen, if I was going to rig it, don't you think I would have Fox? Come on, guys.
You did last year.
You did have Fox last year.
I did have Fox last year.
Yeah, I still have CBS. So.
All right, NBC, you are up. Who you got next?
All right. I am. I am NBC.
Nope.
I know. It's I had to add that for everyone just so I had an easy thing to copy and paste. It's fine.
All right.
Don't worry about it. Right. I'm going to week 7. Where I will be taking Ohio State versus Oregon. I am not at all mad about that, because that's kind of a crap week outside of that. Not only is that a great pick, it's also like not a good week of games in general. So it's also kind of a high value pick, but you always have, it doesn't matter. You take Ohio State, Michigan first, but I think this is actually the most valuable game on the schedule based purely off of, okay, cool. Well,
and I'll explain why I disagree.
Sure. Yeah, please go right ahead.
I actually had Ohio State and Oregon as my number 3 game. Obviously the game was number 1, but my number 2 game, which I think comes from a week where there's even less big games. And importantly, Michigan's still going to be somewhat relevant week 2 when they play Texas. And people are going to care about that game. So I will take week 2, Texas at that team up north.
Austin and I on the same wavelength here. I have a little notepad of my top 20 games here. And yeah, that was my number 2.
Week 2 is also pretty light in marquee games. So I totally get what you're saying. God, I can't wait to watch the meltdown in Ann Arbor, says Gangland.
It's going to be a good time. Texas is going to throttle them, but it'll be much.
It's going to be disgusting. Like listen, I'm looking forward to it as an Ohio State fan. That's all I'm saying.
Hey man, Texas is really good this year. Like they could very well win it all.
We've said it before. I think it's a 4-team race this year. Texas, Oregon, Ohio State, and Georgia.
Yep. This is an Ohio State podcast, but I hate to mention Michigan again here for a second pick in a row. But I'm going to pick Michigan here in week 4.
Oh,
because week 4 I think is a very lackluster week. So I'm getting the big game out of there. USC in Ann Arbor there.
That was up there for me. Week 4 is rough.
Week 4 is also pretty rough. I think there's some other good games in there personally, but yeah, it's not a great week. Taking a quick look here. If we're looking for some good games, which is obviously what we're doing here. I think the next best game to pick is in a week where there's also a lot of other good games to pick. So I'm not gonna use that. I'm not gonna use that one yet, and I'm also not gonna say what it is for obvious reasons. I honestly bet you can guess.
3 games that week.
Yeah. There's absolutely 3 games that week. So I'm going to take a bit of a weird detour, I think. And I'm going to go to week 3.
Yep.
Because I don't think there's a lot of good games this week in the Big Ten, but I do think that there is one good game that's better than the rest.
Interesting, at the very least.
Yeah. It's Alabama versus Wisconsin.
And you always said, Jared, you always said that that Nick Saban would never go up north.
I
did not
called it.
A few times where Jared was actually right.
Bullshit.
I know.
No, I know it's the bit. But when it comes to like long-term predictions, I'm batting 1,000.
Yeah, that's fair.
Short-term predictions, not so much. Long-term predictions, I'm a champion. So I'm gonna take my victory lap on that one.
All right.
Yeah, I'll give that to you. I marked 2 games as gotta get it. Not counting the first 3 picks because I didn't think that any of these picks would go to the first 3 picks, and one of them's already been taken by you guys, getting the Oregon Michigan game, I think it was. But the other game I'm going to go to a week where there is not much either, and that is week 13. In week 13, I'm going to take color on color USC at UCLA with the powder blues and the I don't even know, it's like crimson red, whatever it is. First Big Ten game between USC and UCLA out west. There's not that much week 13, so I want to go ahead and get that marked off.
Yeah, no, that's a good pick. I think you could say that with a lot of weeks too, where there's some weeks is like, oh, maybe there's one in here. Maybe I should take that one. But no, week 13's I think could be I think that's definitely the highlight. That's the highlight of that week. But there's a couple of other there's a couple of other options in there. But yeah, the key game in the Big Ten, definitely USC and UCLA that week. All right, where should we go next here? A lot of options here. So I think the next thing I had on here, kind of with the lackluster games and some teams that haven't been well, played well. I'm almost tempted to go to week. I'm going to go with week 9.
Okay.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to go to week 9, and I'm going to hit up Penn State, heading on over to Wisconsin in week 9.
Kyle, I'm just going to say it. Feels like the first reach of the draft.
All right, that's fine.
I feel like there's more games that week, and there's bigger games that are available.
If I'll wait till others pick week 9 here, but
we'll see.
Yeah,
you got your wild cards if you want to use them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, wild cards on the table for sure.
All right, Jared, who you got next?
Who do I got next? I think this is the point where we start struggling as far as like, do I take a relatively low marquee game like, Kyle did there in a week that's valuable, or do I just start taking some big time games? Yeah. And I'm going to try and find a decent mix in between those two. This one's a gamble. I think it's a gamble I'm going to take.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think both of these teams are going to be good, but I'm not sure that both of these teams are going to be good. I'm going to go to week 12.
Uh-oh.
Oh, not where you thought I was going.
No, it was not.
I'm going to go to week 12. I'm going to go Oregon at Wisconsin.
I like it. Yeah, I don't mind that. It's other options that week. I'd like where your head's at.
There are other options that game. Again, it depends upon how good Wisconsin is.
And they could be great. Well, I don't want to say great. They could be pretty good, or they could be 5
good enough. But I think they're good enough to beat Wisconsin or to beat Oregon since it's in Wisconsin.
Yeah, in Madison for sure.
So I think it's a valuable TV product because it could be a big game late against a team that is playoff bound. Might be other teams, other fans out there looking for some sort of upset that game.
I'm shocked that this game is still here. I know that it is not necessarily the biggest game with the new teams in the Big Ten, but I would assume that this is going to be the whiteout game. And to market that and to be able to say I have Ohio State, hopefully, at that point, 8-0, traveling to Happy Valley to take on Penn State in their whiteout game. I feel like that's super marketable for the, 9th pick in the draft. So I'm going to go to week 10 and I'm going to take that.
Yeah.
That was the week that literally exactly what I was talking about when I said that's the game I want to pick, but that there's other really good games that week.
And there are.
Yeah. But we're starting to get to the point now where you start
best game available.
Is it best game available or is it the most valuable game based off of what other games are available that week? Yeah, it's good convo. It's a good question. I think now is the right time to take it for sure.
Good value. Kyle, what you got?
Yeah, it's tough to decide. Like, should we get one where it's like, oh, there's a second game for a week that's already been picked, or keep going in the route that we're doing and everybody picking a different week? And I think I'm going to continue that trend. I'm going to go to week 6.
Yep. That was my other thought.
I'm going to take the Hawkeyes heading on over to Columbus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's not where I thought you were going with that. But can you really go wrong picking any Ohio State game?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, I mean,
I wrote Columbus.
Yeah, I mean,
Columbus.
Iowa has a chance to be pretty decent. I mean, they're going to be pretty good defensively at that point in the season. They could have 1, maybe 2 losses at most. Like, it's an easily marketable game.
It is, yeah. And that's why I picked that one. Yeah, I think week 6 you could go along with a couple of other games there and you'd be fine with it. But I think, to me, I like this pick over all of them.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
Jared?
My turn. I think I think there's, man, it's tough. It's starting to get down to that point where it's I think all of the super obvious choices aren't there anymore. So I'm going to do the first one so far. This is the first time we've done this. And I'm going to take one from a week that's already been taken. Mm-hmm. I'm going to go Oregon at Michigan week 10.
Yeah, that's totally fair. That was on my list of top games. Right underneath my next pick that also I think is a week where there's not many great games. And it's the national championship rematch that I think will get a lot of views. And again, it's early. And that's my key with a lot of these Michigan games that I'm picking. They have to be early in the season because I don't think Michigan's going to be in it later in the season. So I'm going to take Michigan at Washington in week 6.
I think that's a good pick. A lot of
if only Washington didn't get rated out.
Well, and I only think Washington's rated right now which I think is ridiculous. I know that they lost their coaching staff, and I know that they're not going to be as good this year as they were last year. But I think people are sleeping on them too hard.
They're still a top 6 team in the Big Ten. And with
I would say so.
18 teams, or we have 18 teams on the Big Ten, right? Math is weird. 18 teams in the Big Ten. If you're the top 16, you're a top 3rd team, you have a chance to at least compete to get to the Big Ten championship. I think Washington will be obviously not as good as they were last year, but they'll be good enough to get some eyes on the games.
Yeah. This one might be a reach here, but I'm looking at this week here and what's available, and it's a shitty week.
Yeah.
I'm going to go to week 4, and I'm just going to pick the Ohio State game.
It's not a bad choice.
Yeah. At Ohio State.
It is. I mean, it is week 4.
Week 4 there.
That's our first wild card pick.
Did you already take a week 4 game, Kyle?
I did, yeah.
Kyle taking the monopoly on week 4. Do you not want to do that? Do you want to change your mind?
I'll let you come back on.
Apologize. Yeah. Let's. Yeah, exactly.
We should have just.
Let's
just made him do it. Just make him do it.
Yeah. Let's go to week 1.
Same logic, week 1.
Yeah, week 1, Penn State at West Virginia.
Okay. Is that Kyle, this is my fault. Kyle, this is my fault, but I don't think that game is.
Not? Oh, okay.
Because it would be at West Virginia, so that's not
it's not eligible.
We're picking off of spread. I just want to own this. That's my fault. We're picking off of a spreadsheet where I have all of, or at least I tried to mark all of the games that aren't actually owned by the Big Ten. That's my fault.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll pick the one could be good game here. North Carolina at Minnesota.
Yeah,
that's a good. That's where I thought you were going.
That's also where I thought you were going.
Yeah.
I don't hate that. It is really the only good game that week, and ACC versus Big Ten, people will watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Jared, where are you going to go?
It's really getting down to it. I'm going to go to week 11. Not a lot of good games to pick in week 11, so I think this is a bit of a value play. It's not maybe the huge marquee game, the biggest marquee game left on the schedule, but I think it's a good value play. Washington at Penn State.
Yeah, that was going to be my next pick, so I like that. And to piggyback a little bit off of that, I will go to week 7 for my next game, which is also a PSU game. And I will take 2 historic programs there with Penn State at USC. Penn State travels out west, week 7. I don't like a lot of the games that week. I will take that.
Yep.
So Penn State USC week 7?
Week 7. Yep.
All right.
All right. Before the next pick, we're going to go ahead and take a quick ad break here, and we'll get to the next few picks. So stay tuned. We'll get right back here.
And we're back. Thank you, Kyle. I'm glad someone was paying attention to that.
Yeah. Kyle,
I had totally forgot.
Kyle, if you want to avoid those ads, what can you do?
Yeah, so you could join the Discord. Sloopcast.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Patreon.thesloopcast.com.
There it
All
is.
right.
Yes.
Kyle.
There it is. You got me.
Go ahead. I tried to loop you in.
All right. Where to go next here? Where to go? I'm going to follow suit here. I'll go to week 11. I'll go to week 11 here, and I'll pick up the Ohio State game there. Purdue at Ohio State.
Sure.
Now,
will we see the Purdue Magic because it's in Columbus, or is the Purdue Magic thing purely
It died.
It died.
Purdue Magic died.
Okay.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Fair enough.
How many wild cards do we have?
You get 2.
2.
Okay.
Wild cards.
Jesus Christ.
Kyle's over there doing calculations.
No, I'm definitely not reacting and drawing attention to what Gangland said in the chat.
It's your pick. It is
my
your
pick.
Turn.
It is your pick.
I'm picking. Sorry, I'm thrown for some reason that I'm not going to talk about. That I'm definitely not going to talk about. This isn't, again, not a huge marquee game, but it's Ohio State. It's a week where there's not a lot of great Big Ten games. So I'm going to go to week 13, Indiana at Ohio State. Just we're trying to get the branding of Ohio State. That's going to draw eyes, even if it's against Indiana.
Yep.
And, with branding, I can't believe that I get to pick this game with the 18th pick. This was one of my top games. Yes, it's in week 14 where there's a lot of other good games, but the fact that I'm getting a Big Ten game with Notre Dame traveling to USC,
yeah,
the 18th pick, I will happily take that.
Yeah.
You're lucky. You're lucky you picked that. That was going to be my first wild card.
I mean, the fact that it was still around. I mean, I didn't want to necessarily take my week 14 because I feel like there's so many good games that week.
Yeah, that's the thing.
This late in, the value's just there where you got to take it if you can.
For sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Kyle, back to you.
Oh, choices. Many choices here. There's only 2 weeks. There's only 2 weeks that we have not picked any games from here. Probably
week
for
5, week 8.
There's
good reason for it.
I only see 2, week 5 and week 8.
That's what he said.
Yep.
Oh, I thought he said 3. My bad.
I'm going to go on my trend here. I'm going to keep sticking with Ohio State games here. I'll go with week 12. Since it's that lackluster week there, I'll pick at the Ohio State and Northwestern game there.
You know what, though? That might actually get a lot of eyes with that being at Wrigley Field. I hadn't considered that, but that's actually kind of fun. I'm sure the tickets for those games will be very high priced, but that's fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's also it'll. I mean, from a ticket price standpoint, not only is it Ohio State playing in Wrigley Field, which is fun, but also a lot of the Northwestern games aren't going to have anyone in attendance because they're playing in the goddamn practice field. So all of those Northwestern fans, well, both of the Northwestern fans are going to be really eager to actually be able to watch that game. Hate on me for this, but Nebraska might have some good games.
Oh, they will.
I think so.
I mean, 2 years ago, they played almost entirely one-score games. Their games will be fun.
Yeah, their worst loss was a 10-point loss to Ohio State a couple years ago. Now, they went totally off the rails last year, but...
It was 9 points, I think. Was it 9 points?
It was 2 years ago. If I got that close. All right, so... Now that you've both taken a week 14 game, that's officially made me a little nervous in case one of you take a wild card there. So I'm going to make sure to go ahead and lock down a week 14 game. I apparently didn't. Okay. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and grab Washington at Oregon.
That was going to be my next pick, so should be thankful that you...
Yeah, no, I mean, just to screw me over. I get it.
Well, really, I came into this with 14 games that I thought were the 14 biggest games of the year, no matter the week. And I'm picking entirely off of those until they're gone, and then I'll go from there. Which leads me to my last game that's on that list, which will be my first wild card. I'm going to go back to week 10. And I'm going to take USC at Washington.
That one's going to screw over Kyle a bit.
Yep, and that's fine. That's fine. It wasn't
No,
like I was
be
going to
angry.
pick them next.
Be angry.
Yeah, of course not. It was the best game left.
Kyle, it makes for better podcasting if you're mad at Austin. Be mad at Austin.
It does.
We need those fake controversy. Like you need to get mad. This is the Stephen A. Smith model. Like you have to get unnecessarily mad so that we can draw, attention to the show.
Kyle, I'll get lunch next time in Raleigh. How about that?
All right, sounds good.
God, you guys are so peaceful.
I'm staying on the Ohio State train here. We're staying on the Ohio State train. Fox wants to continue broadcasting these Ohio State games, and we're going. Even though it's a lackluster week, Austin already has the one game that week, but I'm going to go way early in week 2. Give me Western Michigan and Ohio State.
I mean, yeah, it's an Ohio State game. It's the brand sells. At the end of the day, the brand sells.
It's not the game I thought you were going to, though. Interesting.
Fox be a Big Ten network? Probably.
Possibly, yeah.
Most likely.
All right, Jared. Your 8th round pick. Halfway there.
Living on a prayer. Yeah. Gonna go with basically the same concept that Kyle just went to. Gonna lock down an Ohio State game because money. I'm gonna go Ohio State versus Akron. Week 1. There's just not a lot of great games that week, so let's just get the money game. Let's get the Ohio State eyes. It's the first game of the season. It's against Akron, but people will be excited to see what Ohio State has going on.
I'd pick the week 1 upset here, where you get get Fresno State coming to the big house to do the upset.
Yeah, but the good news is I can wait on my week 1 game, because if either one of you takes that as a wild card, be my guess.
True.
But by the way, there are 2 really good games that week in which Big Ten teams are involved. Penn State at West Virginia, USC versus LSU, but those are both not owned by the Big Ten.
Yep.
But a game that is owned by the Big Ten, which is where I thought both of you were going to go, I will take my week 9 game, and I will take Nebraska at Ohio State.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance Nebraska comes into that game undefeated. Will it happen? Probably not. But there's a chance.
Sure.
There's light up to that point.
Okay. Listen, if brand new coaching staff, they're probably going with a true freshman quarterback.
So they'll be fun. Thank you for making that.
They'll be fun, and they'll probably be a lot better by week 10 than they were earlier in the year. But, I mean, this late, sure, take it.
It's still an Ohio State game. I'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Kyle, back to you. Halfway through.
Why get off the train? Why get off the train here? Let's pick another Ohio State game.
Sure.
And let's go. Let us go. Man, which one to do? Which one to do here? Let's get the week 3 out of here. I'll pick the rivalry, the early rivalry game here. Washington State and Washington.
A dagger to the heart. That was gonna be my next pick. Pac-12 After Dark, even though the Pac-12 sucks and it barely exists.
Mm-hmm.
Still technically exists for this year.
Still technically exists. All right.
All right, Jared. Who do you got next?
My turn. Take a quick look at what we got here. again, I'm gonna try and maximize my Ohio State presence. Ohio State draws eyeballs. So I'm going to go to week 5. I'm going to get Ohio State and Michigan State.
Yeah, I like that.
That was the one I was about to pull the trigger on.
Yeah, I that wasn't in my short list of games left, but I don't hate it at all.
Well, it's also a crap week. I mean, it's
sure.
That is the first game any of us have taken from week 5. I think that there are other good games that week, but I think that's clearly the marquee game for the Big Ten that week.
I believe there is one Ohio State game left that we have not picked.
Yeah, possibly.
Jared, I think you.
Yeah, the teams thing is it gave us a time warning, so just we might have to deal with that in a little bit.
Yeah, we'll do an ad break. So
yeah,
right now.
Not right now.
Not right now. We'll finish it.
Yeah, there is one Ohio State game left that we have not picked.
Okay.
Are you trying to throw a clue to Austin on that one?
I'm just stating it for the audience.
Okay. It's
Kyle, I don't really want it.
It's not good.
I appreciate that, but I think I'm gonna pass actually. I will go to a week that I have yet to pick from though. And yeah, again, there's nothing left that's huge value. But this is the only game that I like left from this week. So I'll go to week 11. And I will take Iowa and UCLA.
I don't hate it.
Oh, I hate it, but it's the best of what was left. So
well, this late in the draft, I don't hate it.
Yeah. And I think now would probably be a good time to go to that ad break.
And do a quick ad break, and we'll reshuffle our meeting here.
Yeah. So we're gonna take a quick ad break. We're actually gonna maybe take a little bit of time here, but go ahead and make sure to void these ad breaks by going to patreon.thesloopcast.com. You can sign up for as little as $3 a month. You can do the entire year up front, and I believe you essentially end up getting one of those months free if you do that. And if you're looking for other ways to support us, you can go to merch.thesloopcast.com and buy some not Ohio State gear, but it might give the vibe of Ohio State gear in the form of podcast merch. And if you don't want to wear podcast merch, you can go to 7071, where there's a bunch of Ohio merchandise. Doesn't look like it comes from a podcast. It just stuff mostly just celebrating the state of Ohio. And you can get all of that. If you're looking for any of these links, you can just go to thesloopcast.com and it'll take you to a page. It's a campsite page. You've seen them, where there's a bunch of our links. So let's go ahead and take that ad break now. Now that I know it's UCLA, I actually do hate that pick a little bit more now. All right.
And that's fair.
Okay. And we're back. We're doing it again. All right. We're starting a new round with Kyle. Also, in case this doesn't make, I accidentally wrote USC before, not UCLA for Austin's last pick.
All right. My pick here. Oh, where to go? There's a lot of slim pickings now here. But I think what I'll do here, just because I think there'll be a lot of eyes trying to watch some of the former Pac-12 teams here going up against the usual Big Ten teams here. I'm going to go week 5. First one from week 5 for. Oh no, never mind. Jared picked one from week 5. I'll go with Wisconsin at USC.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, get a. I mean, USC is a valuable property.
Absolutely, especially this year where they're going to be. Probably they have to be better. There's no way they can be much worse than they were last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true, but we'll see.
I actually really like their new quarterback, and I was notoriously a big non-Caleb Williams person. I won like 7 games last year.
Yeah. I also think he's going to flop hard in the NFL, but anyway, that's a different topic for a different day.
Yeah, we'll see.
It's the NFL. You can't be bailed out by a supporting cast alone. I don't like this game, but it's the only Ohio State game left. And if we look to see what other games are available, there's only one good Big Ten property in week 4, and Kyle already got it with USC and Michigan. So I think this is, this is just a value pick at this point. So I'm going to go to week 4, Ohio State, Marshall.
Sure. Kyle also tried to pick that.
Yeah.
Well, I want to go ahead and take my week 5, because at this point we are getting to slim pickings, and if one of you
just picked a Marshall game,
if one of you is going to pick this as a wild card, I really don't want to lose my week 5 game that I haven't picked yet, so I'm going to take Oregon at UCLA.
Sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one there. I'm actually going to use my first wild card.
Okay.
Use my first wild card to screw over Jared here.
As is tradition.
Here. I'm going to go week 9. I'm going to have Sparty taking on their little brother over in Ann Arbor.
I like that. It was on my list. Oh,
Sparty may not be good, but it's a well-known rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to pick just because you kind of screwed me over, but it's obviously a good pick.
All right, Jared, where are you headed? Got a few gaps left on your.
Got a few gaps.
Boxes, yeah.
Yeah. Oh boy, it's bad out there, man.
It is rough out here.
You picked Bowling Green at Penn State?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought about
There's
it.
30 good games a year. That's it.
Yeah, it's real rough out here, guys.
How did week you 8 mark this?
Week 8 is a snooze fest. Oh my god!
It's like no one has touched that week. Yeah, there's a reason.
Yeah, and Kyle totally just screwed me taking Michigan State. Oh boy, pickings are slim. Yeah, I know. TikTok. You took the game I wanted. Screw you. What do you want from me?
I love this
you can't just take the game. You can't just take the game I wanted.
I want hatred.
See, here's the clickbait.
Tears. I want tears.
Yeah, there you go. Now you're getting the clickbait you want, Jared.
Yeah, screw you, Kyle. Is this the end of the Sloopcast? Question mark. Drama? Is there drama? I'm gonna go to week. Man, it is actually really slim out here, guys.
Yes.
I've got a list of about 8 more games that are.
I'm going to week 12.
Yep.
I'm going to take Nebraska at USC.
That was going to be my next pick, so I like it. And since you're going to take that, Jared, while you're on week 12, I was going to wait for one of you to take a week 12 game, so I could take the other week 12 game that is feasible, which is UCLA at Washington. So I will take that as my Week 12 game.
All right. I'm going to try and fill these in real quick.
And Kyle, while he's doing that, where are you thinking about going?
Where am I thinking about? I mean, Week 8 seems
Please go ahead.
Seems great to go towards, but but I'm looking at the weeks. I'm missing 7, 8, 10, and 13. Not many good games from those that are left.
Mm-hmm.
There was one that I had my eye on. I draw a blank on where it went.
Did I pick it?
Northwestern at Purdue is Week 10.
Yeah. Yeah, there's that one.
Wait a minute, you weren't thinking about Northwestern at Iowa Week 9?
No.
That Week 1 Florida Atlantic Michigan State game is just really sticking out to me.
Let's do it's just slim pickings here. Let's go to Week 10 here.
Yeah.
Let's do UCLA at Nebraska.
Yeah. Not a bad pick. I mean, to get that this late, I like it.
No, you never know how Nebraska will do. Maybe they'll surprise us, and this could potentially be a good game.
I don't think it's Nebraska we have to worry about, to be honest with you.
That's true.
And
that's true. That's true.
All right, Jared.
All right. Let's fill in Week 2. There's not a lot to choose from. We're going to make a money play here.
I was going to go for it next.
Okay. We're going to make a money play on this one. I don't know if it's going to be a good game, but it should attract a lot of eyeballs. Nebraska, Colorado.
Yeah, that's the right thing to do. I was going to take it with my next pick. I mean, it's going to get, Dion, he's going to get eyes on the game.
Yeah, actually, as I take this, I have to ask, why the hell did we wait? Because if we're looking at this as television execs, which is what we're supposed to be doing, how did we let this one sit out there this long?
I still think that almost all the other games are still better, but yeah, as television execs, we probably should have taken it still to market. It's easy to market, old rivalry, Big 12, Colorado, Nebraska. You're right. We probably should have taken it a little sooner, but I can live with it. I have Texas, Michigan that week, so I'm not mad.
That's totally fair.
But now I am missing weeks 1, 3, and 4 and 8.
And 8.
Yeah. We're just not counting that. But instead of picking any of those, I'm just going to go ahead and use my wild card, my last one, my second one, to just try my best to screw over one of you.
That's totally fair.
And to do that, I think I have to take a game from week 7 that I don't love, but again, it is a new Big Ten team coming from the West Coast, traveling to play in the weather. I'm going to take Washington at Iowa, week 7.
I mean, this late in the draft, I don't hate that at all.
Yeah.
No, I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all either.
Now we're in trouble on the next few picks, but that's okay.
By we, do you mean you?
Me and the boys in the chat who are obviously on my side.
What game did you think that the whiteout's going to be this year, or did they actually say what the whiteout's going to be this year yet?
They haven't said it, but I said Ohio State and Penn State.
Okay.
It almost always is.
I think another.
It actually, the last time Ohio State went to Penn State, it wasn't, because they wanted it to be a night game and they played at noon.
But the 3 games before that, I think it was.
Yeah, I'm going to follow suit with Austin here. I'm going to use my second wild card here. It could be a potential wideout here. welcoming a newcomer here, UCLA at Penn State in week 6.
Sure. Yeah, I don't hate it. I considered it. It was on my short list to be my second wild card pick. I mean, it's tough because is UCLA a big brand in college football? No. Are they a good team? Also no. Are they new to the Big Ten?
You're not helping.
So not only are they bad, they're awful. No, but at this point, you got to fill in your week. It's reasonable.
I mean, he doesn't have to fill in his week. That was his wild card, but
got to fill in your picks. I was really trying to sell that for you, Kyle. Yeah. It didn't end up very good.
He tried his best and he failed.
All right, Jared. 3 more picks, I think. 4 more picks.
Yeah. I don't know if that was, Kyle, an attempt to screw me over or not, because I didn't have a week 6 yet. Honestly, I'm fine with it. That was, I didn't see that game as any more or less valuable than the week 6 game I'm about to pick to fill in my week 6 slot. I'm going to go USC, Minnesota.
Ooh, I would say Penn State's definitely a little more valuable than that, but still not terrible at this point.
I agree, but
I don't know.
Jared
I think
Jared,
but it's all right. Listen, I 100% acknowledge that Penn State's a better draw than Michigan State, but there's one LA team.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
If you have been watching my draft and analyzing it up to this point, you can go ahead and just shut the program off, because all of the rest of my picks are about to be not fun with weeks 1, 3, 4, and 8 remaining. So at that point, I am just going to take the best week 8 game available, which isn't saying a lot.
Fair,
but
not easy.
Like what is, just to give you guys some highlights? We've got
what week 8 games are available. Go ahead and read them out for us.
Michigan at Illinois, Nebraska at Indiana, Iowa at Michigan State, USC at Maryland, Wisconsin at Northwestern, Oregon at Purdue, and UCLA at Rutgers. Now,
yeah,
I feel like there's 2 options to go with. And I'm going to go...
I think there's 2 less than that.
Jared is telling me I have to pick one.
So
with that being the case, I'm going to take, because it will get this team to watch it, and they're going to watch their team, I'll take Michigan and Illinois. They're the second biggest brand in the conference. There's not much more I can do.
Yeah, I mean, that's totally fair.
And they are the second biggest brand in the conference. If there's any Michigan fans watching, don't care what you say. Ohio State makes the money.
Well, but NCAA football has all the... Sorry.
Okay. What is any of that words?
They're as good as the words you're going to get from a Michigan fan.
All right. Kyle.
By the way, congratulations to the Illini for finally getting a draft pick.
Finally getting picked, yeah. For the first time, maybe ever.
7, 8, and 13. I have to pick a game from these weeks here. So I guess I will do I'll do week 7. I'll take Jared's Fighting Gophers heading over to UCLA.
Yeah. I don't hate that at this point.
Slim pickings, but that's fine.
Or the boat indeed, Spikes.
Yes, Spikes.
Jared's Gophers.
Jared's Gophers.
Not my Gophers. There, I said it. Are you happy?
Big golden pony point.
All right, Jared. You have 2 weeks left and a wild card still.
I do, in fact, have all of those things. I'm just going to pick a brand. Week 9 had some good games in it. But Kyle screwed me over, taking Michigan State and Michigan. So I'm just going to grab a brand out of week 9 and say Rutgers at USC.
Ugh.
There's not any. Oh, yeah. What? I'm sorry. Was there a week 9 game there you liked more? Other than the 3 you guys picked?
Fair point.
Like, I got to pick the week.
It's still gross and disgusting, but
it's USC, man. They're the 3rd biggest brand in the Big Ten.
And you know what? I shouldn't live in a glass house and throw stones, because I'm going to go to week 3 and take Notre Dame at Purdue. So same logic. I'm getting another Notre Dame game.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I'll take the Notre Dame brand traveling to Purdue. Well, I don't hate that for 3rd to last round.
And the thing is that if I was actually like playing the role of NBC, I probably should have taken that.
Yeah, big NBC game on CBS.
Because it's Notre Dame and I'm NBC.
And they'll probably end up getting in.
I think we can actually look. I think at least the first like premier rounds are already been picked. I think this has already happened in real life.
Notre Dame and Purdue will be on CBS.
Oh, no shit.
Look at that.
Look at that.
I'm basically a TV exec at this point.
Yeah.
And you know what? And guys, I did it for less money and later in the draft. So CBS.
Yeah, you don't know you picked it later in the draft. You don't know that.
I did. I don't know if they did. But I got better value. That's all I'm saying.
You don't know that. You don't know when it was picked.
I'm just going to get my week 8 out, and I'll just pick the brand. That seems to be the trend here.
Is there a brand?
USC over heading over to Maryland.
Yeah, that's fair.
Sure. Man,
congratulations to Maryland for finally getting a pick.
They might get picked again.
I'll leave that up to you.
All right. Week 8 in the wild card is Jared's last picks.
Yeah, sure is.
The wild card this late.
Yeah.
Interesting strategy.
Interesting strategy for sure. Maybe I have something up my sleeve.
Prairie View A&M at Michigan State in week 3.
Oh, I am. That's exactly what I'm. Exactly what I'm doing.
Weber State in Washington.
No, it is not.
Howard and Rutgers. That's it. Howard and Rutgers.
Howard's not a university. Howard's just a guy. I don't know. I don't know what that even means.
Where are we leaning, Jared?
I'm gonna, as Austin correctly pointed out, second biggest brand in the Big Ten is Michigan. So I got a Michigan game, a pretty decent Michigan game out there still. I'm gonna go Minnesota at Michigan week 5.
There could be worse picks.
This late in the draft. I mean, it's for the Paul Bunyan Trophy.
Yeah, that's true.
Is it?
I think so.
One of those trophies.
One of the Paul. There's like 7 Paul Bunyan trophies.
At least 7.
If you want to know more, go watch Kyle and I's trophy tier list episode we did a couple months back.
Speaking of Paul Bunyan trophies, probably. Gonna go to week 4.
Because you have to.
Because I have to. And I'm going to take
Villanova, Maryland.
Iowa at
Charlotte, Indiana.
Minnesota. Penn State at Penn State. No, I will take Iowa at Minnesota. I don't, you're
it is what it is.
Big Ten game, but not bad.
Iowa, Minnesota. What do you think the over under is on Iowa, Minnesota?
27.5.
I'd take the over on that, but I'd hate myself for it.
I mean, do you know what Jared, off the top of your head, what was the score between Iowa and Minnesota when they played this year? Do you know? Because I remember when the over under 4 came out last year. Do you remember the final score?
I do not.
I'll give you a hint. It was under 27.5.
Yeah.
It was 12-10. Minnesota won.
That was a high scoring game for Iowa last year.
22 points. All right.
0 last touchdowns by the Golden Gophers.
And they won.
All right. So I have to pick a game in week 13.
You sure do.
Yeah.
I think there's a
well-known team that's left in week 13.
It's like,
I'm going a different route here. I'm going to Wisconsin at Nebraska.
I actually like that for that late, for that being your last pick. That's not
really typical. I think I'd have gone Penn State, Minnesota before that, honestly.
Yeah.
I would have gone Northwestern at Michigan, personally. But yeah, okay.
I mean, they all suck, so
that's fair.
It doesn't really matter. All right, Jared, your last pick. Where are you going with it?
The lovely week 8.
The week 8.
Everyone's favorite.
I'm still typing Kyle's week 13. So a moment, please. Wisconsin, Nebraska.
Wisconsin, Nebraska. Yeah. So week 8.
Mm-hmm. I have left to pick in week 8. Oregon at Purdue, Iowa at Michigan State, Nebraska at Indiana, UCLA, Rutgers. I'm not picking a second Rutgers game. I'm not doing it. Wisconsin at Northwestern. This game might not even be in front of a crowd. Wisconsin, Northwestern.
Probably won't.
I think that's going to be a practice field game, which might drive ticket prices up. You don't know. It won't. It won't.
It will not.
I said ticket prices. I meant TV ratings. There aren't any good options here, just to be clear. Oregon's one of the top brands in the Big Ten. Screw it. I'll take Oregon, Purdue.
Would this be the week that Purdue screws over a team?
Sure.
Probably. Who cares?
It's in October at Purdue, maybe a night game.
I'm NBC, so it will be a night game. In the universe of this draft, it's a night game.
Yeah. All right, week 1, Austin.
Yeah, and I have 6 available games, which is Florida Atlantic at Michigan State, Western Michigan at Wisconsin, UConn at Maryland, the UTEP what are they, the Roadrunners? Are they the Roadrunners, or is that the other one?
That's San Antonio.
Is UTEP the Miners out there?
Yeah.
Sure. Idaho at Oregon, or Fresno State at Michigan.
Can't forget Howard and Rutgers.
I didn't even bother to write that on my sheet. But
Eastern Illinois and regular Illinois.
Sure. I mean,
you have Michigan versus Wisconsin. It's Western Michigan, but it's a Michigan team nonetheless.
Yeah, and I have a team from California against Michigan.
Yeah.
just doesn't UCLA or USC. But I think just with the brand, I think that's what I have to go with. I considered UConn and Maryland for the whimsy, but I'll take Fresno State at Michigan. I think that's fine.
You get the
just
brand.
Take the Michigan brand. Yeah.
Yeah.
Week 1, they're the defending champs. You want to watch them, whatever.
Look at this guy having back-to-back weeks hosting Michigan games here.
Hey man, the brand is the brand. It's the second best in the Big Ten. I like money.
Everyone tuning in late to watch the upset. See? Yeah, Fresno's definitely.
Fresno State actually has a really fun quarterback. I don't know if you guys knew that.
Okay, they're not going to. I am on the Michigan is going to. Kyle and I
lose to Fresno State.
No.
Before Jared goes on a big ramble here, we are way over on time here, so we're gonna have to end it here.
All right. Yeah, no, he's right. Kyle's annoying and he's overbearing, but he's right.
Just before we go, number one, thank you guys for having me on again. It was lovely.
Yeah.
As always. And the Buckeyes got a really big commit today.
Yeah. That was going to be the last thing I was going to bring up here.
Hey, Kyle, we're way over on time. That's the end of the show. But do you have anything in Kyle's corner?
Hey, there it is. The number 2 safety in the 2025 recruiting class. Verbal committing to Ohio State. Fahim Delane out over in Maryland.
Yeah. Could be the greatest DB class of all time. If they can pick up a couple guys.
They just have to bring in the 2 Ohio kids. Well, the
still early.
One kid's Texas via Ohio, but
Brew and McNutt, yeah.
Yeah, bring in Brew McNutt. Make sure Offord stays in the class, which is going to be difficult. Ohio State doesn't typically get kids from Alabama, so you got to hold that down.
And don't forget they have Haddad too.
Oh yeah, for sure. I don't worry when we talk about he's not going anywhere. That you know what I mean? It's I'm not afraid he's leaving. But, McNutt and Brew aren't officially in the class yet. You have the number 1 and number 2, I believe, corners, but they're both not even regional to Ohio State. They're going to be difficult to hold on to. I think if they put a couple weeks ago, we did the mock. We updated our mock. We did a 2025 mock. If they bring in that defensive back class that we mocked, which I think is highly possible, which by the way, we had Delane in that mock for the record. If they deliver that mock, if they deliver what we mocked, maybe the best defensive back class of all time. And I think the mock we put forth is totally realistic.
Yeah. Cool. So also, if you're watching on YouTube, comment below who you think won the draft. I mean, I think we all know who won, but
and also make sure to weight it.
The way that should have been phrased is we all know who didn't
win. Yeah, that's fair. Kyle and I got joint first and Jerry got fourth. That's really the truth.
You have to weight it. Of course, Kyle did well. Kyle got Ohio. He had the draft advantage for being Fox.
You're
just saying.
First.
Yep.
Big advantage.
All right, cool.
All right. That's it. That's the end of today's episode. Tonight's ending music will be brought to you by a band from Columbus called Courtney from Work. That's it. I'll figure out the song later. So yeah, Courtney from Work, Columbus-based band, put on a great live show. Make sure to go check them out next time they're playing live. Check out Bands in Town. If people don't know this, it's a great resource for finding concerts near you. It's an app called Bands in Town. Check that out. Especially if you want to find the local music scene in your area and you just want to go see some $10 shows by some local bands. If you live in a major city, you'd be shocked at the talent that's out there who are just trying to make it. So go see some shows. check out bands in town. And if you live in Columbus, find the next Courtney from Work show and go to it. So they'll be ending today's show. So with all that being said, I'd like to encourage everyone to drink local beer, listen to local music. I always say it. I'm not bullshitting you guys. Listen to local music. And of course, support your local podcasters. Once again, this is Courtney from Work.